Hey guys, Reset Jet here. You'll have to excuse me as I'm trying to get my life together here as I try to figure out how to stream and do this at the same time here. But we are on the ground at Detroit as Skywest Flight 4073 this morning, serving up to Westchester up in New York this morning. I actually don't have a whole lot of time here. Let's see. So the real flight here departs in about another 20 minutes. So 15:05, scheduled in White Plains at 16:49. It's about an hour and 13-minute flight. Right now, the weather in Detroit is, let's see here, we've got broken clouds at 2,500, scatter layer 5,500, temperature is 3 with the light winds out of the southwest, altimeter is 2989. In White Plains itself here, it's pretty garbage right now with variable winds. Got a quarter-mile visibility and RVR between 26 and 4,000 feet with drizzle and fog, so it's pretty garbage. But about the time of our arrival, it looks like winds should be light out of the north with mist and broken clouds at 500 feet, so it should clear up a little bit. Let's see here, weather-wise, we've got pretty strong crosswinds en route, it looks like. Yeah, should get hammered pretty good, but I don't think those are, shouldn't be a headwind. If anything, crosswind. And then just the overall picture here of the Prague page, we've got this low pressure system that's in New York right now with, looks like a large stationary front and an occluded front. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't recall what kind of weather you actually get with an occluded front. I know it can vary, but I can't remember quite exactly what we should expect there, but you know what, we'll find out. With all that being said, here we're gonna hop in the airplane. It is cold and dark. This is actually the first flight of the day, which is kind of surprising to me as early as it is. But first thing we'll do, depending on which pilot gets on board here, we'll run the safety and power on checklist. So aircraft status, we'd make sure that's checked. Circuit breakers, obviously you would check those. Nozzle steering switch, verify that is off. Hydraulic pumps are off up here. Probes are off. Landing gear lever is down. Flight spoiler level is 0. Our slots and flaps lever, that's set to the axle position, so that is down to 0 as it is outside. Radars are off. ADG manual deploy handle is stowed. Emergency flap is normal. Master battery, we can turn that on now. And if you've watched my tutorial, we know we've got to start our timer just so we know how long we've had the aircraft on DC power, but we should have AC power. We don't have AC power. Let's get AC power. There's our AC power. Alright, so APU, AC, electrics, that's been established. Let's make sure we've got enough juice. I'm sure we do. Everything's powered up on the AC side. Alright, DC side, we've got plenty of voltage for the APU and main battery. Let's see here. Let's go back to the stat page. AHRs, we don't have that, so we'll line our IRS. And then hydraulic pump 3A can come on. Alright, from then on, it's my job to go outside and do the walk around. I'm not going to do that today. Done. So we'll run through the captain's flow here. So the skipper is going to get their stuff loaded down here. Then we'll start up top and make sure our DC service battery switch is off. Master battery, that's on. Let's get some light in here. It is dark today. Our IDGs, those are all closed and guarded. Gen switches are to the auto position. Fire detection test, we can press that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights. Close enough. Hydraulic SOVs are closed and guarded as well too. Nav lights can come on. All fuel pump switches are off. Bleed air, that's normal. Bleed valves, auto isolation valve is closed. Bleed source, both engines. APU is off for now. Our ignition switches are all off. Hydraulics, we can return, actually, yeah, we'll turn 3A off. Auto. And let's make sure we've got at least, do that backwards. On, off. And we'll scroll down. We've got 3,000 PSI plus or minus 200. That looks good. Then we'll go on, auto, on. And now we should have 3,000 on the third system. That looks good. We can turn, actually leave that on for now. We'll continue up top, cab press. That all looks good. The recirculation fan. Whoa. So the recirc fan, if we've got the low pressure air on, we are actually going to want to make sure that is turned off so it doesn't damage the fan, but we're just going to say we don't have that on right now, so we'll turn that on. We'll turn our packs on as well too. The air conditioning fan can come on. Cals, any ISL, all looks good. We'll do the ice detection test. An ADS heat test, okay. Turn it off. Windshield switches can come back to go down low. Probes off. Dome light, standby compass, we can leave that off. Emergency lights, arms, smoking can be turned on. We'll come down to the MCP. I'll take this leg, so we'll transfer this guy. All our lights in the glare shield here are off. The captain is going to go down to their side and turn some lights on here. Like I said, no dual steering switches disarmed. We'll hit the RA test down here, if I can get to it. There we go. RA test works. The CVR test. We'll push and hold. There is our green light. And his PDF works, his MFD works, ED1 works, ED2 works, good deal. Come down here, I'll test the uniskid. Main landing gear, bay overheat test, that works. The warning, that works as well too. Engines, N1, it's synced. Lamp, that's all looks good here. Ground proximity, all those are guarded. Ground lift dumping spoilers, that's auto. We can arm our thrust reversers. We'll come down to the RTU. We'll test our TCAS.
TCAS system test okay.
Right on. And let's see here. Scroll down the standby RTU, we can turn that guy on. And stab trim 1, channel 1, we can turn that on. We'll wait for the test to finish here. Stab trim, channel 2, test, or turn that on and wait for the test as well. Alright, that looks good as well too. Mock trim can be turned on. Our avionics fan, those are all normal. That looks good. just slide up here. The trims, I'm not going to play with those right now. Yaw damper, channel 1 is on, and number 2 is on as well too. And that's radios for the jump seater. Everything else looks good. Last but not least, we'll come up and test the stall warning. And that looks good. Turn hydraulic pump 3A off, and then I'll run through my side, which basically is just come down here, make sure my lights work, do the RA test, make sure my PFD and my MFD work, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do the RA test because it will freeze up for whatever reason here. But beyond after that, we can do the acceptance checklist. So AML brief, that is complete. Forms and manuals verified, checked. Exterior inspection verified, complete. Gear and ADG pins are stowed. Crew O2 quantity verified. We've got 1850 PSI on board. Audio 1 and panel has been checked. Electrical power panel, that's checked. Fire test been completed. Lights checked. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, first flight of day, you want to make sure all your lights work. Looks like it worked to me. I return all of those guys off. Let's see here. Fuel panel, that's been checked. Bleed air panel has been set. APU is off. Start panel checked. Hydraulic panel is checked. ELT switch, that's arm reset. Cap press panel is checked. Air conditioning panel is checked. Ice detector test has been completed. Windshield switches are low. Emergency lights armed. Standby compass has been checked. Clocks verified set. Just want to verify that coincides with that ETC in there. That looks good. It's checked. Side control panels verified, checked. RA test has been completed. CVR test complete. Display standby instruments verified, checked. They have been checked. Let's see here. Cockpit power is not installed. Anti-skid test has been completed. Main landing gear bay overheat test is completed. Upper pedestal is checked. Thrust lever quadrants checked. TCAS test has been completed. RTUs, TCAS, ACPs checked. Trims checked. Lower pedestal checked. Install test has been completed. Acceptance check was complete. Alright, so let's hop in here. We'll do an IFR really quick. So status, that looks good. That looks good. Position in it, we are at KDWT. And I'll come back to the flight plan real quick here. GVR, yes, GNS, that is all enabled. Defaults, average, that's right. Taxi fuel, 4-2 reserve, that looks good. That all looks good. 5,000 feet and 12.5. Alright, so we'll hop into the flight plan. We are KDWT or KDTW. Going over to White Plains. We'll execute that. We are SkyWest 4073. So we are, let's see, going to be departing off runway 22 left more than likely. And our flight plan is as follows. Let's see. How to execute that. GHW is I'm not entirely sure which approach we're going to be using quite yet, but we're going to be on the Valerie 5. So execute that. We'll come down to our radios. Let's do, yeah, we'll put 121.5 on standby. And then we are SkyWest 4073 on our ID. Down in the MFD menu, VNav on my side, I'll take high nav aids and airports. And skipper can have that's on and high nav aids. And on the perf page, we're going up to flight level 350. And let's go ahead and get our weights in here. So only 28 on board today, and 952 pounds up front, nothing in the back. And then we'll have a total of, need a block of 9067, but I'll ask the fueler just to round us up to 91, so we'll put that in here. I'll put 9100 in here. And that's it for now. Let's see here for alright, so we're gonna need to figure out what our ISO deviation is. Come down and check our weather. 3, so 15 minus 12 in our ISO. Leave that as is, and that's pretty much it. Go up here and let's set this up here. So initial runway heading is going to be 216. With we'll say 7,000 as our initial altitude, and then the FRA is going to be 1650. And I think today I'll just set that up on my side. Alright. So with all of that being done, we can go ahead and run through our before takeoff brief here. So as we're doing that, I'll turn the APU on. So for our brief today, we've got the weather at Detroit. Winds are 200 at 7, 10 miles visibility, broken at 2,500 feet, overcast at 5,500, temperature is 3, dew points -1, and altimeter setting of 2989er 3 times. Alright, for our route today, we have got been cleared to White Plains via the Howie 3 departure to Lincoln, then direct to Juliet Hotel Whiskey, then MEMS, then Delta November Yankee to Valerie 5 for a total of 505. We've got 491 here. I like it. We'll copy that. On our radios, we've got what do you call it? CTAF on 22.8, and then we've got guard set on standby 2. Nav 1 and Nav 2 are both auto, and since I'll be taking this leg, squawk in 2000 onto my side. Up top, we've got a flight directors coupled to my side, 200 knots, white needles, and initial heading of, I just said 216? Yeah, 216. Altimeter's 2989er, 7,000 as our initial altitude, and an FRA of 1650. Digging into Navigraph here. So currently parked at Bravo. Where the hell are we? Bravo 1? Bravo 1. So currently at Bravo 1. And we are going to taxi northbound here on to 4 North. From 4 North, we'll take, uniform Yankee cross runway 27 right, Yankee all the way up to Yankee 10 off 22 left. 22 left, the departure is going to be climb to a heading of 216, intercept course 173 to Winers. Maximum speed of 230 knots up to 2,500 feet. Buoy above 4,000, surf below 7. From there, we'll continue to Howie to Lincoln, then as filed, which is going to be. Run through our legs page here. Howie, I said Lincoln, just Lincoln to JHW, then MEMS, then DNY to Wheats, IGN, Valerie, Basie, then Harp. And that is that. For our engine failure procedure here, we've got an FRA of 1650. If you have any problems, it'll be a straight out departure. We've got what's the MSA here? MSA is 2,800 feet, so we can climb up to 3,000 feet and come back to Detroit. Alright, that's it for the brief. We are a little bit behind schedule here, so let's see. APU's on. We'll disconnect the ground power. Close the door. And once we've got our final weights on board, we can plug this in. So Z, zero fuel weight of 55,385. We are just going to round that up to 55,400. That gives us a zero fuel weight of 64,500, which will round up to 65,000. And I'm going to use companies V-speeds here. What is our way to go? Just at 65, so we're going to round up to 65. So let's see how well this correlates here. So V1 of 129, 4480. You know what? Why not? Sure, we'll use your weights here, Aerosoft. So I'm just going to plug these in. V1 of 129, VR of 130, V2 142, VT 187, and our trim of 6.8. Alrighty, let's get out of here. You know what? I've got to set this up first. Alright. Let's go ahead and get rid of our jetway. And we'll just get pushed back here to 45.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Alright, so once we've got our pushback clearance, skipper's going to turn on. Actually, it's the first light of the day, so left side's going to come on. Hydraulic pump 3A beacon on, and verify nozzle steering switch is off.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes
We
are
gotta
set.
close
You
our
may
door here,
lift.
don't we?
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Doors closed, doors closed. That's
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
a good deal.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake. Please release parking brake.
Alright, brakes released.
Parking brakes are released.
Clear to push.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Yeah, we'll start in the sequence.
Alright, once we've been cleared to start, since it's first light of the day, we'll start the left side. Ignition's coming on, and we'll start our timer.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Cleared to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Alright, since it's the first light of the day, we're going to do a fuel check valve. So we've got low press, pump, good deal. And after start checklist, probes need to come on. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so after start checklist, that was the after start flow. Fuel check valve has been checked. Anti-ice is off today. Rudder. Whoops. Is checked. Nozzle steering switch can now be armed. Thrust reversers are armed and CAS certified. Checked. Yeah, it is checked. After start check is complete. Alright, taxi checklist. The Detroit Flaps A taxi checklist. Alright, taxi checklist. Slats and flaps verify that 8 degrees is required. 8 degrees is indicating. Takeoff data. Verify that V1 is 129. R is 130, V2 is 142, VT is 187, and we've got, oh no, it's not gonna let me flex anymore, is it? Nope. Awesome. Well, I guess we're doing full thrust takeoff of 87.3. And then trims verify green and center at 6.8. And that's set. Taxi checklist is complete. Clear on the right, clear on the left. Let's see how we're gonna get out of here again. Detroit ground SkyWest 4073 will be taxiing to 22 left via Uniform Yankee, crossing 27 right at Detroit. Alrighty. brakes off. Stereo cockpit. There we go.
Detroit traffic, Delta 1202, pushing off gate Alpha 2 for 21 right. We'll be taxiing out here momentarily. Detroit.
Alright, clear left and right. Cleared across. Alright, at this point, we'll go ahead and turn
runway 2 and right, Detroit.
number 2 on here, so pumps on. We'll restart our timer. Yeah, starting 2. Alright, 50%. Starter should cut out. And should get a rollback here at 20-ish percent. ITT's in the 400-degree temperature range, and then N2's in the 60% range. And that looks like a good start to me. Delayed after start. We've got CAS verified, checked, and that was quick. And CAS is checked, and crap, I forgot the seatbelts. Whoops. Airstart checklist complete. Alright, let's run through the before takeoff checklist. So we'll come up here, we'll turn our cross flow to manual flight controls and test our flight controls. And we'll set the flight attendants, and once they're sat down, we'll run through the before takeoff checklist. Takeoff config, verified, checked. Takeoff fuel quantity balance, verify that. Flight plan says 8.1 is required. We've got 8.8 on board, and the balance is checked. Brake temp is checked. Fuel cross flow is man off. Flight controls have been checked. Takeoff briefing. It'll be my takeoff. Going to runway 22 left, that's inside. Runway 22 left is outside. Initial heading of 216 up to 7,000 feet. If we lose an engine, FRA 1650, we can come back here with no specials. Any questions? No questions. And departure briefing is complete. That is down to the line. Don't see anybody on approach here, so I'm thinking we'll just go ahead and depart. Detroit traffic, SkyWest 4073 is departing runway 22 left at Detroit. And we'll run through the before takeoff checklist items below the line. Ignition, NEI status off today, CAS verified, checked. That all looks good. We'll box these items. We've had more than 2 minutes for our engine, so that's good. And oh my goodness, what a lineup. That's horrible. And runway heading, verified, checked. That is checked before takeoff check is complete. Let's reset this guy. And start our timer. Turn our lights on. And let's see if I can actually derate this still. Good deal. Alright. Hit our toga switches. Spool them up to about 70%. Today, Junior. And Toto. Here we go. Set thrust. Thrust is set. 80 knots. Check. E1. Rotate. There's positive rate. Gear up. And speed mode. .400 feet, we'll turn that mode on. And there's 1,000 feet, climb 200. I'll go ahead and set that actually. And we're already VT minus 10, so plus 10 actually will bring flaps up and after takeoff checklist. Since we are in visible moisture as well too, we'll go ahead and turn our, actually what's the temperature? Yeah. Cowls and wings on. turn the autopilot on for now. So speed mode, climb to 230. Oh, we'll continue our climb here. Max 230. Let's continue climbing up to 11,000 meters. And I've done already, but after takeoff, checklist. Is complete. Yeah, looks like we're breaking out here. Well, it should be in about another 1,000 feet or so, maybe. Alright, we'll continue to accelerate here to 2250 knots. And since we're above 230, we can turn our wings off.
Detroit traffic.
Oh yeah, buddy.
16, section runway 21 right. Yeah. Mike, crossing 26 right.
There's 10,000. I don't want to go to alt cap. We'll continue our climb here. Let's just go up to 35,000. You can point your nose down, sweetheart. We'll accelerate to 290 knots. Lights coming off. Not that light. And we'll let our flight attendants get up and go to work. Since we're through the clouds as well too, go and turn the cowls off. What's going on with my yoke here?
Detroit traffic, Delta 1202 taking on runway 21 right, Detroit.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with this. I'm really not sure why my yoke is twitchy like this. Anyway, through 18, 9s and 2s. So here we go. Guys, cruising here. We'll go to turn seatbelt signs off and we'll do a quick cruise check. So all we're going to do here is check our fuel against the flight plan and see where we're at here. So Lincoln, I wasn't really paying attention. I think we're about, we'll call it 7.3 when we crossed Lincoln here. So if I were to open up this guy here, and let's see, Lincoln, we were supposed to cross at 7:1, so we're obviously ahead of schedule here. So I'm gonna say, let's see, your next waypoint is, what is it? Jamestown. So Jamestown, we're supposed to cross with supposedly 6.8. Flight plan says 6.4. So I'm going to estimate that we're probably about 300 pounds ahead. And if that's the case, then we should land, even though it says 5.8, we should land roughly 4.9. We'll see what it is when we cross Jamestown here, but that'll give us a better estimate as to what our gross weight is. And once we figure that out, then we can go ahead and start plugging in our reference numbers for the approach. But in the meantime, we'll just hang tight and wait till we get to Jamestown here before we update that. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise here. Let's see if I can get my throttle setting right. So we can cruise at 0.79. Let's try this here. 84% N1. approaching Jamestown here. It looks like we should be crossing right about 6.5, we'll say. So we're actually pretty close on fuel here. So with that being said, 4.7, I'm going to assume that we will be landing with roughly about 4.7 pounds on board. So if I come down here, enter 4.7, that should give us a gross weight of roughly 60,000 pounds. Even if it's for 46, then it's going to be right at 60,000 pounds. So we're going to use, let's reset this really quick, 65.35. Close enough. Alright, so we'll come over here and we'll use our 60,000 pound car. So that'll be a VT speed of 178. V1 is irrelevant, so we'll dash this out. VR of reference speed of 45, 126. And then a V2 go around at 133. Alright, awesome. And then, let's see, figure out what runway we're going to be using at White Plains right now. Right now, it looks like they're actually still using runway 16, and if I had to, you know what? Of course, it would be. Looks like that's the only it's the only runway that has no 34 is an ILS, but oh, I get it. Runway 16 has a Cat 2, so it makes sense. So we'll plan for that then. Straight in ILS. 16 from far. I'm gonna we'll just use this as our initial matrix here. And I'll execute that. So for MEMS, it's direct to so Delancey to Wheats and Kingston. To Valerie. And we can expect to cross that at 6,000. Set this in here and execute. I'll tell you what, it doesn't say it on here, but yeah, there's far in. I'm just gonna go ahead and set, let's see, Kingston is up here, so let's go ahead and do that. Wind 6 from Kingston. Let's go to flight. Actually, I'm gonna erase this real quick. 1-6 left, Kingston. Yeah, Kingston. Let's check it out in the flight plan. So we'll go clear this discount. Kingston. I'm not gonna delete this or override this just yet, since that's our actual flight plan. But what I'm gonna do is leave this down here. We'll execute this, and from Valerie, we'll say 6,000. Execute that. We'll go with that for now. And the sea approach is going to be on 197. DA 640. Alright, with all that being done, we're pretty much set up for the approach here. We really just have to brief it, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wait. Let's see. I don't know if the weather is updated yet. Quite. But I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and we'll brief this weather right now, and if it updates, we can review that. So I'm thinking here we're actually going to plan for I have to plan for the Cat 2 approach. Do that. So use an RA now. Go to this guy. Use an RA of 113. Feel better about that here. Let's go ahead and brief this now. So, current weather at White Plains, we've got winds 060 at 4 with 3/4 statute mile visibility. Runway RVR for runway 16 is plus 6,000, they're saying, but we've got mist and vertical visibility of 200 feet. Temperature is 8, dew point is 7, altimeter is 2, 9er. We'll set that here on standby. Let's see. Yeah, none of the other remarks are really relevant. So we are on the Valerie 5 approach. That is taking us directly towards MEMS right now. From MEMS, we'll go to DeLancey down Weeds to Kingston, Kingston to Valerie, to expect to cross at 6,000. Since we're going to be using 1.6 here, we'll get broken off and probably just go direct to far in or something, and straight to the ILS. And we're not using this, we're going to use the ILS Cat 2 today, so that's on 11-1 Bravo, dated the 14th of May 2021. We've got IHPN on 109.7, set on standby 2, set on standby 1 as well, 2. Final approach course of 163. Now this thing should auto-tune, but I know it screws up on the first officer side, so I'm actually going to go to Green Needles really quick and tune this to 163. And go back to White Needles, back to nav mode, and I see FMS2. So final approach course of 163. Now it'll auto-tune again on the captain's side, but on my side it should be on the right course anyway when I flip it over. We've got Sismar at 2,000 feet. The RA is going to be 113. Airport elevation of 439, touchdown zone of 439 with an MSA from the airport at 2,900 feet all around. Missed approach procedures, I don't think we've got ATC today, so if we've got to go miss, we'll just do the published missed approach, which is a climb to 1,000 feet. Climbing left turn at 3,000 feet on heading of 150 outbound on the LaGuardia 044 radial to the Harp intersection, which is going to be 20. No, let's read on here. This is going to be 23.5 miles from the LaGuardia hold. And we'll continue our climb into hold up to 3,000 feet. Let's see here. We've got Malzar and Pappy's on the left side for the approach. Should have the visibility we need for the required approach, RVR of 1,200 feet. Excuse me. Let's see here. Conversion, I cannot remember for life of me. RVR of 1,200 feet is at least, anyway, quarter mile visibility. So we've got 6,000 RVRs plus 6,000 is what they're saying, which is a mile and a quarter. So should have the visibility for the approach. Let's see here. Runway 16 is a 6,549 feet runway. Expect a left turn off at, I'll plan for kilo of worst case scenario, just roll down to the end and take off across runway 11, and I think we just have to go to one of the random gates. I don't know what gate the actual flight's going to, so beyond that, that's it for our brief. Let's see, where is the actual flight going to? SkyWest 4073. Usually, yeah. I know when my company flies there, we have to basically figure it out once you actually get to the ground, so that's just how it is there. Yep, there goes our nav, turning way too early again. And it's going to have to turn back to the left. Gotta love it. That's why I've got guard on standby, because I'm not going to deal with that. So, I've got a 30-mile ring in here for white planes for planning purposes, but at the same time, go back to nav mode here. At the same time, I put a 20-mile ring around LaGuardia for a really good reason. So, if I were to change our format, and we'll scroll down here. Huh. Okay. Don't know why I can't see it there. But I can see it here. Anyway, so, let's get rid of the nav aids and the airports. So, white planes. I really hate that I can't show this here, you know. I gotta start descending anyway, so let's do this. Let's say 10,000 feet. And we'll start our way down there. So, what I was going to say, which I'm not sure why I can't see on here, but White Plains is actually within the class Bravo underneath LA, or not LA, but LaGuardia. So, you really have to be careful when you're either arriving into White Plains and you're below the Class B shelf, because obviously there's a speed limit there. So it's kind of a gotcha. They don't really tell you anything about it going into White Plains, but you know, it's just one of those rules that you learn way back when you're getting your IFR that kind of will sneak up on you, and they'll actually be well, come into play. And you know, if you violate it, then hey, you just violated it, and can't really get mad at ATC because that's something we're supposed to know about. So I'll leave that 20-mile ring in here just in case I feel like going fast, and can't quite remember where the Class Bravo is at LaGuardia. I think there's got to be some illustration for it. I thought there was. Maybe in the, let's see. Nope, reference page. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. So, Navigraph, and is this going to be better? No, not really. So, if you take a look at the LaGuardia, where's the 20-mile ring here? So, White Plains, there it is. So White Plains is right here in the 20-mile DME. So as long as you're below 3,000 feet, then I think we're limited to, I think it's 200 knots underneath the Class Bravo. So if I go below, the class Bravo here. I just have to make sure I'm below 200 knots. So, let's see. I want to get down to 10,000 feet. We're at about 30 miles from the airport, so let's get down a little bit faster here. That's what Banana told me. Yeah, it should be a pretty good descent rate. Seatbelt signs, come on. Alright, coming up through 18,000 feet here. Altimeter settings to 999. Actually, let's make sure the weather hasn't changed any. Nope. Oh, just a little bit actually. So, visibility is down to 1 mile now. RVR is still plus 6,000 feet. We've got mist, vertical visibility 400 feet. And temperature is still 8 and 7. Altimeter is 299er. Set that on all 3 sides. And let's run through the recent checklist. Pressurization, which I also forgot to set here for White Plains, is going to be, what do we got here? Airport elevation of 439. We'll round it up to 440. Should do it. 440. Alright, pressurization set. Altimeter is verified. 299 is set. Niner. Landing data for 60. What did I say it was? 65? 60,000 pound card? Speaking of which, reference of 126 we'll put over the 126 for our speed confirmed and executed. Landing data is set. Arrival briefing's been completed. CAS verify checked. That is checked, and descent checklist items down to the line. Let's slow down to 250 knots here. I'm going to continue our descent. We're just basically going to be going straight in here, so let's get down to 3,000 feet. Alright, as we get closer to 10,000 feet here, let's slow our descent rate down. And I'm going to descend using speed mode here. And through 10, lights are on. Seatbelts on. There's smoking sign. We're doing that. Let our flight attendants know that. Hey, we're through 10. Sterile cockpit. And I'll tell you what, we'll just say we're going to go direct to Farin after Valerie from here. I'm going to execute that. And looks like I could probably shallow up onto the descent right here. So you can see now that the captain side has auto-tuned, so he's got the blue needles, but for whatever reason it never auto-tunes on his side, so now I've got to flip it manually, and now I'll get the blue needles. It's just one of those things. Alright, let's slow down to 200 and... no, I'll tell you what, let's do 180 for now. We're actually pretty close. I'll tell you what, let's do 210. Alright, there's Alt's cap at 3,000. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach mode here. Yeah, localizer is alive and captured. We'll go down to flaps 8. And since we're hoping to ever cleared for the approach, we'll ding our smoking sign one more time and let our flight attendants know that we are on final approach here. And we'll arm the thrust reversers. Alright, glide slope looks like it's alive. Yep, it sure is. We'll slow down to our final... yeah, why not? We'll do 170. Yeah, we'll slow down to 170. Yeah, and speed's good. Bring the flaps down to 20. Now let's go ahead and bug our VREF of 126. Glide slope is captured. We've got our missed approach altitude of 3,000 feet set. We'll go ahead and bring the gear down. Speed rolling back. Let's bring the flaps down to 30. Passing 160, flaps to 45, and before landing checklist. Alright, before landing checklist. Thrust reversers are armed. Land gear lever verified down in 3 green. Down 3 green, slots flaps 45 and indicating. And flight spoilers are stowed. Before landing checks complete. Well, definitely need to get my speed together here. If anything, I want to be at slowest right at the reference speed. I'm trying to aim for right on top of the bug there, so about 5 knots. Alright, well, not quite 1,000 feet above the airport anyway. Airport elevation is 440 feet, so right about here we're 1,000 feet. We're stable. Spoilers are stowed, and the approach altitude of 3,000 feet is set. Since this is a Cat 2, it would technically be the captain's landing area, and I would just basically sit in my hands on my lap. Making call-outs and just trying to make sure that if I do see runway, I'll let him know. Alright, got some trees. And roughly 500 feet above the ground. We're stable. VREF is, we're right on top of the bug. Sync is 700. There's our light. Runway and lights anyway. Go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. I see the runway. A little on the high side. Good lord. And we're landing. I wonder why we came in so high. 30, 20, right on idle. Bonk. And just spoilers and to reverse. There's 90 knots. And looks like we'll just roll down to the end here. And there's 60 knots, power down to idle. Since the throttles are down to idle, I'll go ahead and start my 2-minute warning for the, or 2-minute timer for the engine cool down here. Alright, to clear the runway, we'll go ahead and clean her up. Off. Good lord. And we can start the APU here. Hey guys, welcome to White Plains. Completely forgot to make any callouts. And Westchester traffic, Sky was 740, 73. We're crossing runway 11 at Alpha, taxiing to the ramp at White Plains. APU is online. Just check to make sure generator is working. I tell you what, it's a rarity that I get a jetway here, so while it's a sim world, I'm gonna take it while I can. And pull into this gate here. Alrighty, parking brake is on, and forgot's first slide of the day, so we'll bring engine number 1 down to, actually, fuel pump off. Engine 1 down to idle, and then right boost pump off, and we're looking for a pump press. So we've got right fuel pump, left fuel pump, and left fuel pump low press. So choke valve has been checked there, and we can go ahead and shut down this engine now. And let's see here, probes off, passenger signs off, hydraulic pump 3A off, beacons off, and nozzle steering switch off. I can come down here and turn this guy off. And that should be it. So let's run through the shutdown checklist. Parking brake is on, slide flap lever is up, radar's off, electrics are set, fuel pump is off, anti-ice is off, transponder is standby. Fuel check valve's been checked, thrust levers are shut off, passenger signs are off, hydraulic pump 3A is off, lights are off, nozzle steering switch is off, shut down checklist complete. Doesn't sound like that APU is on right now. Oh, there it goes. Well, hey guys, we've made it safe and sound. I'm actually curious if the where the real flight's at right now. Let's take a look. See. They left. They're still climbing up to the cruise altitude right now, so they must have well, obviously it's delayed, so they probably delayed it for the weather, which would make sense. I mean, your alternates aren't, I mean, I think our company says the alternate for well, one of the alternates is LaGuardia, and I think I'd rather take my chances coming here than go to LaGuardia on a day like today, because I don't think the weather is that much different in LaGuardia. But I digress. Turn, put that on, or put those up, turn that on, and we'll shut our AP off. Well, thanks for watching, guys.